So there's this game jam that I want to participate in, but there's a bit of a problem, and that is it ends in 2 days, and I have no idea how to make a game, so... The theme for the game is endless, and I immediately thought of 20 minutes till dawn, or the inspiration for the game, which you might know better, Vampire Survivors. I haven't actually played the original Vampire Survivors, but I have played the mobile knockoff. I know, shameful, but I got the gist of it, and it does kinda fit in the endless theme, so I will go with that. If you don't know any of those games, basically you spawn in, kill enemies which drop XP, that XP gets you on levels, levels give you better stats or abilities to help you survive longer, and when the timer runs out, you win. Simple. Now let's do it. I'm making this game in Godot, and something I know about Godot is that I don't know it, so let's watch a tutorial to understand the basics. Some code and the character can now move. Wait, no, you're not supposed to look at that. Because I'm on a 2-day deadline and totally not just lazy, I bought an answer pack for the main character and imported the animations. But you can see, the character is just floating, so let's add something for it to walk on. Luckily this is pretty easy. All we have to do is download a bunch of 3D assets, realize your game is not in 3D, modify each of them individually to fit in 2D, it doesn't fit. Modify again, it doesn't fit, modify again, it doesn't fit, modify again, it fits. So I have watched a bunch of tutorials and I think I got by finding to work. So it should move the enemy towards you. Oh fuck. Okay, that's not it either. Okay, now I got it working. I did a health system and made the enemies actually hurt you, but it looks boring and soulless, just like me, so I added a juicy knockback effect. I don't even know how I managed to make it look that good. This can literally be the game and I'd play it for a few hours. Who needs gameplay? That's over. I added gameplay. You can now shoot people. Yeah. If you're wondering what that highly detailed AAA graphics ball is, it's a part of the story that will not just a lame excuse for me to not do animations. But it stands still and you can only shoot in one direction, so let's make it move alongside your mouse. Luckily all we have to do is get the angular measurement between the positive minus axis and the ray from the origin to the point of the Cartesian... What? Basically I copied some Godot forum code or ChatGPT, I don't even know where I got this from, but it rotates shit, which is always cool. Rotating is cool. Yeah. I also removed the explosions since they made the game too easy and totally not just because I'm way too incompetent to be able to create proper collision. We leave them for other abilities which I may or may not implement, and leave the main weapon be single target. I have a quick question for you. What happens when the tool to place tiles doesn't work as intended? Why does it leave empty spaces? You Google the problem? You input it into ChatGPT? You search it up on YouTube? No. You delete a real-time map and write a script for procedural generated terrain. Hard code values because you don't know how math works. Delete code until it works. And we got procedural generated terrain. That was a waste of time. But it looks cool. So now you can shoot the skeletons and walk in an infinite world. But after that, what? Well, you can spin your ball and shoot in random directions and admire the laziness that went into creating the game. And where am I going with this? Oh yeah, we need to make the enemy spawn. For some reason this had to be hard. So if you want to spawn enemies at the top of your screen, what do? Get the coordinates of the viewport and spawn them outside it? That would make sense, except the camera moves, so that type of spawner would stand in one place. Instead what we have to do is create a path to D, which I don't even know what it's used for. Create a path follow to D, this kinda makes sense. And then a marker, for some reason. Then you modify the progress of that by random values and boom, got enemy spawning. But wait, I fucking wish it was over. The path to D doesn't move alongside your camera, so what you have to do is create a remote transform to D, which for some fucking reason moves your camera in the middle. Then you realign the camera and now enemies spawn outside the screen. Yay, why did this take 7 fucking hours? Alright, so right now the game is pretty much playable, but there is no game loop, so... I mean, that's pretty simple. All we have to do is look at some Vampire Survival gameplay and... Oh yeah! We forgot the gambling aspect. Implement XP, add juicy math to make the pickup animation look more dopamine inducing, add the progress bar at the top of your screen, fight with the layers for hours only to realize you have to move the node to D up, add the level up pop-up, rewrite the player script because you realize it's fucking impossible to manage, write totally simple code to make the level up screen work, make the level up bar random because gambling, add particle effect with Godot's particle system, because gambling. Okay, that's it. So by this point we have about 6 hours left to implement dodging and reloading, fix bugs, finish the game loop, add the menu screen, add death and winning. Yeah, basically I'm a little off topic, but I've typed the word health so many times I'm starting to believe I'm misspelling it. We have to quickly do a main menu and add a timer for when the game should end, and then reloading. I put the main menu together in 30 minutes, don't you dare say a thing about the art. I couldn't find something similar on itch.io, so I had to draw it myself. I eventually got it together and added the starting credits button. And then I realized I have no fucking idea how to create a pop-up in Godot. So I deleted the credits. I'll put them in the itch.io description or something, I don't know. Anyway, I hooked the start button to start the game and added the timer to the game. If you survive past the timer, you win. So the time ran out, it's been 48 hours of active development and I finished the reloading just in time. Basically when you run out of ammo, which is displayed on your ball, you have to wait for the reloading animation to finish. I also nerfed the default fire rate and made it so enemies move 2.5 times faster based off how close you are to winning the game, making the game look just a bit harder. I was doubting if I should also increase the HP that way, but I thought that would be too hard to play against. I'm gonna cheat a little and fix the hitbox even if the timer ended, because I broke them when I added the XP animation. Anyway, without any further ado, I present to you Time Fracture. This was a lot of fun. The game will be available on itch.io, link in the description, even though there are some freezes because of the HTML build and I don't know how to fix them. The particles take around 10 seconds to spawn for some reason. I might also include a Windows build now that I'm thinking about it, and I didn't have time to add sound effects, so yeah. How was the experience, you might ask? I've tried Godot before and I didn't like it, but this time was different. I would even dare to say it's better than Unity, which I ditched Godot for in the past, and it's natively supported on Linux. How cool is that? It's truly amazing and rather easy to create games if you understand the flow. If you also want to make a game, I highly recommend you try it just for fun, fiddle around with it, and you'll see why it's so liked. Not sponsored, by the way, just my thoughts on the engine. By the way, the 2 days that I took for making that game weren't really consecutive, because yes, thanks for watching, and as always, see you in the next one. So we are playing the game on the Windows build via Wine, and let's see, oh that is smooth. I'm gonna try to survive as long as I can, which I don't think I can make it past the 10-minute mark. Okay, the game is actually smooth. I didn't expect it to be this clean, because I was running it on the dev build, which I suppose Godot makes it compressed. I'll have to tweak the tile map generation because it's visible. And there we go, we level up. I'm gonna need more fire rate because I'm shooting way too slow. And I'm already on 1 heart. How did that happen? Oh crap, I was gonna die. Yeah. So we survived just 1 minute. That's cool enough. But we are on 1 heart. Yeah, okay. GG. That's the game, I guess. And you can also retry and it gets you to the main screen and you can also try again. Yeah. And no, I didn't finish in time for the game jam.